Hit the go live. Hello? Hello? Hello?
I'm starting to notice a trend.
Shut the fuck up, ads. I just want to hear if my audio's okay. Hit the go live. Hello? Hello? Sound alright. I'm bumping my mic back up to 85.
I'm starting to notice.
I forgot I turned it down for thing. Alright, today's replays, the Italy versus EU Mercenaries event, we'll get right into that soon, but to let people gather and also for people that start watching the VOD, we have some announcements, because my viewership on that announcement is such dog shit, I need to announce it at the start of live streams. We are in the middle of Subcember. Every subscriber we get in December, I will donate $1 to charity. The charity I chose is mentioned in the video, but very shortly, as they just put a lot of money towards researching ways to help animals around the world, not just dogs, to be fair. But one of the projects they're working on recently that I'm excited about is helping dogs with late-stage kidney disease. Could maybe prolong their lives. If your dog gets some sort of kidney infection or failure at a relatively young age, like 8 or 9, and they could live to see 12 or 13 if they got that fixed. Currently have some exciting research around that area, so I want to donate to that. And thought I would just link it into a fun little channel event for Gits and Shiggles. Also, if you are watching and not subscribed, that is fine, though YouTube just cares about numbers, so if we get a bunch of subscribers, then YouTube will recommend us to more people, and then more people might subscribe, so it's like, well, we can give to charity and try and grow the channel at the same time. Sure, why not? It's the season of giving. Let's go. And like last month, without any giveaway sort of thing, we got 340 subscribers. So if this month is as good as last month, we'll give $340 to charity. Hopefully more. Another thing that people might partake in is people sometimes watch my channel but don't play in my events. Which is fine. Some people aren't ready for multiplayer, but I do have a fun event running on my Discord server right now for people that may not even want to do multiplayer. Back when I first started my channel, in the dawn of time, there was a thing I did called speedruns, where I would make an AI army, and I would say, beat this army any way you can, as fast as you can, and then stream the results. Viewership was always really low, but people on my Discord liked it. So I'm resurrecting that idea, and we are running the 2023 Warhammer 3 Olympics. Now, what the fuck is an Olympic? What is that? What's going on with that? Basically, I set up a series of small challenges, and whoever scores the fastest time on a certain faction will get that faction some points. I'll minimize this for a second. Like the example here, let's say the event Assassin, killing a small single entity. Let's say the Beastmen get 54 seconds. I will give the Beastmen 5 points in our, Olympics. Second place will be Skaven. Third place is Zinch. 3 points and 1 point, respectively. And then through all the events, we go through all the points and we figure out which faction is the best faction in Warhammer 3. Now, something people have noticed is when they're trying for this, if, for let's say speed, the highest movement speed in a stat card at one point in time. Let's say you grab 400 speed Grease's Goldtooth, who was bugged on last patch, right? You grab him, you run around, that's the fastest speed, great. And then 6 other people grab Grease's Goldtooth, and they all run around. Well, ogres don't win 6 times. Okay, the fastest ogre time was 400, but we still need a second and a third place, so feel free to try your favorite faction and try and come in that second or third place, because if ogres get 1st through 7th, doesn't matter. I would just take the fastest time from there, and 2nd through 7th get fucked, because I need a different faction. So that's kind of fun. The categories are speed, highest move speed on a stat card at one point in time. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. There's no real limits, just as long as you have one army. Obviously, don't bring a whole bunch of allies and cast every speed buff on the game on one character, because then the Beastmen didn't do it. The Beastmen plus Empire plus High Elves did it. And no mods, obviously. Assassin, killing a small single entity. The small single entity is defined as Sigvald, but naked. And the limits are Sigvald must die, and you can bring a Lord and up to 2 units. Giant Slayer, kill a large single entity. It's Count Noctilus on his deck effects Colossus. Glue Factory, kill a cavalry unit. Dragon Prince and a Prince, because you have to take a Lord, so just take the Prince, butt naked. Skull Throne, kill massive infantry, take a Warlord and 10 Clan Rats as your opponent. And then Honor Guard, kill an elite infantry, kill an Infernal Ironsworn, and an Overseer as fast as possible. So, on the right-hand column are some limits of, like, certain challenges. You can bring 3 units, certain challenges you can bring any amount of units, doesn't matter. So do read those if you feel like partaking, but it's just you versus the AI on Pillar of Bone. Feel free to hop in, give it a shot. People are in there talking about their strategies and talking about how fast they've gotten it. Yeah, so it's been fun. I did try the event myself, and so people know I'm not cheating. I pinned my times. For the Assassin, I got 32 seconds, 49 seconds on Giant Slayer, Glue Factory 30 seconds, 71 seconds on Skull Throne, and 29 seconds on Honor Guard. I think all of my times have been beaten, so it doesn't matter if I spoil who I did it with. Assassin I did with Skaven. Honor Guard I did... No, wait. Assassin I did with Grand Cathay. I used Yembo's execute mechanic, but my time's already been beaten. And then Killing Elite Infantry. I was the highest time for a while, but people have since beaten me. I did use Skaven for that. Though I won't reveal my tactic just yet, but it is not just weapons teams. It was a mix of ranged and melee. That is all I'll say. But it's been a fun event, so feel free to hop in there and participate, even if you're just a campaign player and you're not ready for multiplayer yet. It's just versus AI, so feel free to have some fun. You learned New England joke, knock knock. That's a joke. Okay. Enough people have gathered, enough silliness, enough fucking around. Let's just get into it. We are hosting a small nations event. I invited 8 teams, not necessarily 8 nations, but I just hit up some people I know to make teams from people from their area. We have West NA versus South America, East NA versus the UK, Battle of the Atlantic, Spain versus France, and Italy versus a team I titled the EU Mercenaries. I had 4 or 5 really good players. I just didn't want to miss out on the event, and they're all in the same area. Most of them are German, but I didn't know if they were all German. Like, if one was, like, Dutch and one was Polish, I didn't know. So I just hit up these 5 guys that I liked, and I was like, hey, you want to play under the banner of just EU Mercenaries? And that bottom matchup is the matchup that is completed. I gave all of these teams a week to play their best of 5, which is what we'll be spectating today. Spain versus France is also done. I will probably stream that Monday, and the top 2 brackets are getting finished up, but... yeah, so it'll be a series of mini streams. As for the actual contest, there are 5 games. This isn't your normal best of 5. All 5 games are played no matter what. If it is a 4-0, that last game's getting played. Doesn't fucking matter. Teams selected their preferred pick and ban ahead of time, so they didn't know who their opponent was going to be. There's no metagaming of, like, let's put our strongest versus their strongest and our weakest versus their weakest. It was just... put your people where they are. They're stuck that way for the whole nation's event, and whoever you get matched up against is who you get matched up against. The picks and bans switched throughout so that nobody can complain there was too much of a certain pick and ban format. And the entire team is the same person, quote-unquote, so it's not like Guillaume can pick Tzeentch and Race can pick Kislev, and then Ronan can pick Tzeentch, and Salinator can pick Kislev, and Mayday can pick Tzeentch, and Segos can pick Kislev. It's like, nope. If Race plays Kislev, none of his teammates can, so it is more like a best of 5, and that way we will see at least 5 different factions on each side. And the final thing I have to say is something, but I'm forgetting it. No! Oh yeah, live coaching was allowed. These should be pretty top quality games, because usually in a tournament setting, there's a rule about live coaching, and live coaching is the concept of sitting in a Discord call while you're streaming your game and everyone's telling you what to do or telling you to look out for things. This was a team-based game. I specifically told the teams, feel free, and in fact it is encouraged to live coach. In this specific event, I wanted people to get together and really work together as a team and make it feel more like a team experience, but also that will increase the quality of the games, is because there will be less silly mistakes like forgetting something somewhere because you have 4 other people telling you, hey, your hell cannon is in the corner. So, that is that. Let's get into it. There's no need for a screen blocker. I will be coming back to this screen to cross off people. That'll be our form of a scorecard. Like, let's say, go to the very top. Let's say round 1, Guillaume is defeated. Round 2, Salinator's defeated. This will be our way of keeping score. So we'll see who comes out on top and progresses through the tournament. The prize for winning the whole tournament, the winning team will get to change my private Discord picture for, was it 2 weeks or 2 months? I don't remember, but I'll probably have a silly, embarrassing picture for a while. And, I mean, you just get national pride, so that's fun. Okay. All right. Where was I supposed to start? Guillaume versus Raced. I did ask both teams to send me all the replays, and then I just picked all of the Italian replays. So it does not reveal who has won. For scheduling reasons, I know who wins the event because I have told them to fight their next opponent. Because like I said, Spain and France are already done. So I know the winners of the two things, and I have told them to start organizing their games for the next round. I don't know how the games went. I have never seen these replays. The players submitted it to me, and if there was a rule break or an issue or something, they had to tell me that ahead of time, and they didn't. So this is what it is. I have no idea how the games go. I just know who wins overall. All right, what do we got here? First game, it looks like Bretonnia versus Dark Elves. Raced is a very good Dark Elves player. And I remember I got shit when I put this team together because they have a lot of Dark Elf mains. And they're like, okay, so only one of us can play Dark Elves. Cool, Human Boy, cool. Super cool format. Please can you roll, man. Knock, 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 knock. What? Anyway. On the Bretonian side of Guillaume and the Italians, we do have 4 spearmen, men-at-arms, 5 peasant mobs, so pretty usual stuff. Triple peasant bowmen, 2 questing knights. Now, this is where it's getting a little weird. I haven't seen a lot of questing knights recently, and when I do, they disappoint me. We do have a Grail Knife and a Grail Knight and a Hippogriff Knight, but Fey Double Paladin making its return from Warhammer 2. What are the teams? United Kingdom, East NA, West NA, South America, Italy, EU Mercenaries, France, and Spain. Anyway, on the side of Raced, we have the buffed Siren of Red Ruin, Bloodrack Medusa. Ever since 4.1, she did get some love. Supreme Sorceress of Death with Fate of Unit and Spirit Leech. A front line of Dread Spears, including the Hellebronai. 2 Dark Shards, one of which is the Bolt Fiends. And then a lot of Cold One Knights. 4 Cold One Knights and a single Cold One Dread Knight. So, Bretonnia is getting Dark Elf Bretonia'd right back at them. We'll see how well the Siren of Red Ruin can do. With her buff, she does have an impressive 30 bonus versus large, giving her 86 effective melee attack versus large targets. She actually pretty good at, could be pretty good at bunker busting the Fey Double Paladin. And for now, she is getting that triple shot off onto the Spearmen at Arms. For your reference, this game was played on patch 4.1.1. This is before the Medusa changes that came out Wednesday. I am on that old patch to watch the replay in its entirety. But if you see some friendly fire from the Medusa, this was before she got her little animation buff where she rears up before firing. Peasant Archers trading with Dark Shards. The Dark Shards are shielded, though. With Silver Shields, they should be okay. Though it's not like they're having a great time. Right now, they're just shooting into peasant mobs. Who is there? The joke should have been knock knock. Who's there? Astra who? Bless you, sir. You got me to say achu. I got it. It doesn't work very well with the delay, and I'm sorry about that. Anyway, the Archer duel continues, but the Bretonian front line of peasant mobs without a Grail Relic to support them just immediately falls apart, and the Dark Elves are blitzing straight through them. Fey Double Paladin have got involved. They are going to get surrounded by Cold One Knights. Cold One Knights' stats really aren't the best, but, I mean, neither is Fey Double Paladin's melee defense. And as we mentioned, in Game 3, the Fey Enchantress is actually very squishy. She's not like she was in Warhammer 2, where you could just shove her into a terrible situation and she would take 0 damage and Mortis Engine everything down. She actually does take a fair amount of damage now. Questing Knights are going to countercharge these Cold Knights and try and bail them out. Meanwhile, Dark Shards reap a terrible toll on their own unit. because they were predicting where the questing knights would go, not where they ended up. Bloodrack Medusa has routed off a peasant bowman, maybe even two. And Coldwood Knights are just sitting by, daring anyone to charge her. Because if the knights do charge into this Medusa, they'll all clump up, and then they'll get countercharged brutally by the Dark Elves. Fey Enchantress's Chalice of Potions plus a couple volleys from the Peasant Archers has almost gotten rid of the Bolt Fiends, and thus Questing Knights massacred the Colden Knights, getting rid of those guys. Colden Dread Knights will have to be pulled up soon to support a little bit, but Raced is keeping some heavy cav in reserves in case he needs them. Grail Knights taking a downhill charge and a Fate of Buna is going to be really tough, and the Bloodrack Medusa is diving in. Does she even wail? She hasn't popped her wail just yet. I wonder if she's waiting for the other Questing Knight to come in range and get a little bit of a 2-for-1, but that was really good shock damage on those Grail Knights, even with their ward save of 15%. It was just not enough. And yep, she did in fact get the double wail off, routing those Questing Knights and the Grail Knights. So really good play on that far flank from Raced, and that is big damage onto Bretonia. You can already see a lead forming for the Dark Elves on the Bounce of Power. The Royal Hippogriff Knights are here now, and they'll try to avenge the situation, but losing those Grail Knights in the blink of an eye is so fucking brutal, man. Supreme Sorceress of Death is not going to let them get away. It looks like Colden Knights are also on the chase, though they might peel off and deal with the Peasant Bowmen, who just actually immediately shatter. Hippogriff Knights are leaving this bad situation. Fighting two Coldwood Knights and a Siren of Red Ruin is not in their idea of the good times. They're trying to get out of there. Fatal Paladin is still grinding through a bunch of Dread Spears, taking more damage than they would like, being surrounded by spears with no support just yet. But it's not nearly as effective as what the Dark Elves have been getting on the map. Like, Fey Double Paladin killing off some spears is great, but I mean, the Dark Elves completely, like, slapped the shit out of your Grail Knights on the side. That's a trade they'll take any day of the week. Hippo's still alive. Fey Double Paladin's still alive. Bretonia's not out of this game, though it is looking a bit tough. For the Dark Elves, Bloodrack Medusa, very, very, very healthy. We have two healthy Knights left, and one is a Dread Knight, and then a healthy caster. Aside from that, though, the Dark Elf Infantry has suffered quite a lot of damage. The Bretonians maybe can slow this game down and just heal cap the Royal Hippogriff Knights to get good charges, but Dark Shards plus Spears is a bad recipe for the Fey Enchantress. She's down to 1/3 HP and falling. Little Earthblood for her. Side charge in from Questing Knights, and the Colden Dread Knights are in a really bad spot. Getting countercharged by those Questing Knights, surrounded by Spearmen at Arms, and the Fey Enchantress is draining them down while the Paladins slap them. That's a very expensive unit that's getting torn apart. Meanwhile, the Dark Shards are falling back and not firing at the moment. The strength of the Dark Elves is definitely back here. Wherever that Bloodrack Medusa goes is a pretty good time for them. She's gotten a lot of value out so far, it feels like. Damage value is alright, too. She's really harassing down the Royal Hippogriff Knights. She's just so annoying. And it's cool to see a unit that got buffed actually being taken in a serious game and used in a serious way. Dark Shards trying to poke down the Royal Hippogriff Knights. They realize there's no getting away from this situation and decide to stop and fire rather than just continue to run and get rear charged. But it won't save them. The Hippogriff Knights eat them completely, taking that unit from full HP to terror routing to natural routing in literally one charge. Colden Dread Knights still trying to hold their ground, keep back the Peasant Tide, and give the Bullfiends a little bit of space to get away. But the Fey Mortis Engine is here. They do rout. The edge of the map's far away, very far away. They'll rally just fine, but I think Bretonia is coming back in this game a little bit. The Bloodrack Medusa is still on the side, just poking away. Doesn't want to let these guys breathe, which is fine. The Fey does have regrowth. I've mostly seen her use Earthbloods. She has a regrowth for those Hippogriff Knights if they need it. Bretonia has random peasants rallying in the distance, but those aren't really going to matter. Everything that matters is on your screen right now. Paladins chasing off the Dark Shards to make sure they stay going. Same with the Fey versus the Colden Dread Knights, and Hippogriff Knights are also joining in that area. What can kill the Fey and her simps? Honestly, the Siren of Red Ruin plus these Coldwood Knights getting a good fight could do very well. Bloodrack Medusa's no chump, man. 86 melee attack versus large targets. She can kill him. But to your point, the Supreme Sorceress of Death being full health and the Fey Enchantress being 1/3 health, the game thinks that the Fey is in real trouble, where she has tons of healing, but also they're both caster lords. Their HP doesn't matter as much. It's just the fact that they exist. I'm going to fast forward a little bit as both sides reconvene after chasing things off. Bolt Fiends and Dark Shards are off the map. The Spirit Leech caster is just out here being annoying. Fey Double Paladin and the Hippogriff Knights are trying to reconvene with their peasants all the way across the battlefield. The Dark Elves seem happy just to take this time to Spirit Leech down the Royal Hippogriff Knights some more, maybe poke in with their Blood Rack Medusa, and get their vigor back. So both sides fine with the situation as presented. Bretonnians will regroup but be tired. The Dark Elves will be fresh as a daisy. We're back at it. More Spirit Leeches onto the Royal Hippogriff Knights. But the bounce power has gotten a little bit better for Bretonnia with all the healing, and another Earthblood tries to counter that Spirit Leech. But every time that happens, it's cool you're not losing Hippogriff models and stuff, and I think it's the right play, but it's not free. Your heal cap is getting closer and closer with those Royal Hippogriff Knights, so the Spirit Leeches are quite on point. I like that they're not being focused on the Fey Double Paladin. The Fey has insane spell resist due to her Unicorn mount, and also, they're not your real concern. The Royal Hippogriff Knights can carry this whole game. Fey Paladin can't. They're annoying, but they can die to spears. Hippogriff Knights can literally kill everything if they're given the time of day. Last Peasant Bowman routes, a bunch of random Spearmen at Arms are shattering off, and that Blood Rack Medusa has been a pain in the dick all game long for these poor Hippogriff Knights. And another Spirit Leech. They're up in the air. They're trying to find a good engagement. They don't want to land first. I understand why he doesn't want to land. He doesn't want to land and take a free charge from these Cold One Knights. He wants to be getting the charge, using his flying to the best of its ability. But the longer he takes, the more Spirit Leeches and the more Blood Rack Medusa volleys he takes. So it's a kind of a lose-lose for Bretonnia in this situation. They got to find a way to change it. It looks like their way of trying to change it is taking the Fey Double Paladin and just sprinting at the Siren of Red Ruin, daring the Dark Elves to commit some of their cavalry somewhere to stop them. Otherwise, they will kill this Blood Rack Medusa. But the Fey gets caught in some spears. She needs her Paladins to come back and bail her out. And the Hippogriff Knights do commit to a fight against the wounded Cold One Knights off on the side, where there's no support. The Blood Rack Medusa was not in range to help them. The other Cold One Knights are way too far away. And the Royal Hippogriff Knights will rout off that one Cold One Knight before getting back into the sky, but another Spirit Leech will once again tax them. Bretonnians killing off multiple Dread Spears with the Fey Enchantress's Mortis Engine, and the Royal Hippogriff Knights get the favor of the Fey, 87 melee attack for them. They land. I don't know who they were originally trying to target. It looks like the Siren of Red Ruin, but they really didn't get a lot of damage down there, and now they will get what we have feared for quite a while, free charge by the Cold One Knights. Can getting that charge bonus get them up into the range of the Hippogriff Knights, but you guys thought I was kidding when I said the Hippogriff Knights can carry this whole game. Look at the damage they're doing to these Cold One Knights when they got charged. Now, both sides are taking a lot of damage, and in fact, the Royal Hippogriff Knights do rout off, but they took a full health Cold One Knight with them in the blink of an eye. Do not underestimate this unit. They are almost single-handedly making Bretonnia S tier right now. Royal Hippogriff Knights are insane. The Spirit Leeches have moved to a different target as Raced is going to just chase those Royal Hippogriffs with his Sorceress. They are not coming back, so now the Fey and her Paladins need to be dealt with. For Bretonnia, we still have some Spearmen that we need to regroup with the main force. The Fey is trying to Mortis Engine down. Here comes the Sorceress. She's going to let the Royal Hippogriffs rally in a desperate attempt to knock out the Fey. Sign of Red Ruin did chuck out her Whale, but, ooh, the Double Paladins are teaming up with the Supreme Sorceress of Death, and her melee stats are very, very bad. I mean, she is just a caster on a Pegasus, after all. Fey Enchantress draining down these Cold One Knights who have charged her, but her Paladins are nowhere nearby. The Simon of Red Ruin is coming over, and she's gonna stab. 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 There you go. Good stab, 300 damage on the Fey Enchantress. Once again, the Royal Hippogriff Knights are routed. A Spirit Leech onto her despite her spell resist, just desperate to get this healer and their lord off the battlefield and their Mortis Engine. The Double Paladins are a little scary, but with all these Dread Spears, if their lord is gone, they're not a problem at all. The Fey is routing. The Royal Hippogriff Knights shatter. Army losses hits. And the Dark Elves, on the back of a Blood Rack Medusa, will take game one for the EU Mercenaries. Fey Double Paladin did alright. Raced catching out and murdering those Grail Knights was a huge moment for him in the game. The Royal Hippogriff Knights and the Questing Knights did okay after that, but just couldn't quite make up for the loss of that one cav piece. On the other side for Raced, 2,450 value for his Deathcaster, 2,300 for the Blood Rack Medusa, and then his Cold Knights, mixed value, overall fine. Dark Shards, not great value. They got shut down pretty hard, and Dread Spears did fantastically. Alright, so I'll delete that game so I don't cast it twice. Go to the Photoshop quick, just to update our version of a scorecard. And Guillaume is down round one there's plenty of games left for Italy. Italy! I have a ping. Why? Okay. Cool. There's another game I have to cast on this patch, and then I need to go to patch 4.1.2. I believe it was Ronin, but let me triple check to make sure I am casting the right game on this patch. Yes. So Ronin's game was also on the hotfix before. Isn't Italy in the EU? Yeah. Dark Elves again for game 2. Ronin versus Salinator. Dark Elves, Vampire Celts. Medusa won the thing? Yeah, Medusa did great. She did really great. And another creative Dark Elf build. Isn't Italy in the EU? Okay. In a nations event with multiple nations, including West NA, East NA, which I know this is the same nation, but they're different coasts and time zone-wise, it was easier to do that. And then South America, and then Spain, France, the UK, Italy, and then a team of randoms. If all the randoms are from the EU, I can label them as EU mercenaries, because if it's just the mercenaries, you might be like, well, are they from Australia? Are they from North America? Where are they from? These mercenaries are from the EU. Anyway, my rage aside, we have double dragons for the Dark Elves. So Supreme Sorceress of Dark with Soul Stealer, and then a naked black dragon. Do have some harpies for a very intense air force. Now on the ground, we have one Cold One Knight, one Dark Rider Repeater Crossbow, some Witch Elves, Dread Spears, triple Blackheart Corsair Handbow, and a Canate Assassin with Web of Shadows and Assassin's Trophy. On the other side for Salinator and the Vampire Counts, we have Zombies, Skeleton Spearmen, and the Tithe making up the front line. We do have 3 Crypt Horrors with their natural regen and mass and armor piercing. Triple Vargeist, including the Devils of Shortsoffen, a Mortis Engine, a Necromancer, and Manfred von Karstein not on a dragon, he's on his Hellsteed, with Fate of Buna, the Zombie Summon, and Invocation of Heck. Fate of Buna immediately cast on the Dark Rider Repeater Crossbows. I like that a lot. Skirmish Cav could be a problem for this build. The Vargeist could chase them down, but there's a lot of stuff to intercept those Vargeist, so a Fate of Buna trying to just take out this very scary cavalry unit and shut them down. It's a little easier to deal with Blackheart Corsair Handbows. It's not easy, but it is easier, because at least your Crypt Horrors can catch them, so it's not just on the Vargeist to run down these Blackheart Corsairs. Why do I have a bunch of messages? Okay. I'll deal with the messages later. I was wondering if they were about this event, because I was like, what? Anyway, Vampire Counts tanking that damage on their front line with some of their Skeleton Spearmen as they have to. Vampire Counts usually require a lot of patience, not overextending. Like right now, these Crypt Horrors are honestly a little too far forward for my liking. They could be taking volleys to the face. Skeleton Spearmen are who you want to be taking the damage. Them or zombies. That's fine. Dark Elves being nice and patient, just using some of their ammo, though I am concerned how much ammo they're using. Look, the Blackheart Corsair Handbow is already down to half ammunition. So the Vampire Counts have lost a Skeleton Spearman for almost all the ammo of this unit. But here comes an engagement. Supreme Sorceress of Dark is down, landed in the middle of these Crypt Horrors. It looks like she is chucking out a Soul Stealer. The Canadian Assassin will probably throw down his Web of Shadows. And I have to feel the Vampire Counts are overcommitting a bit. There's too many units in here all getting hit by these damaging abilities. Canadian Assassin is actually getting away, and here comes the problem. The Sisters of Singing Doom are going to rampage everybody. It looks like the regular Black Dragon's breath attack killed the Devils of Schwarzhofen almost entirely. Big rampages hitting for the Crypt Horrors. Probably the Vargeists any second now, and that'll leave the Counts very much stuck. Vargeists don't want to be stuck in melee combat for too long, and they are just trapped down there. Corsair Handbows firing in on the Crypt Horrors. The Witch Elves are taking a lot of damage. Can Manfred do anything to bail this situation out? I don't think so. The Mortis Engine is there to try and offer some passive healing to get them through it, but a second breath attack from the other dragon comes in for that Mortis Engine. Both dragons are diving down onto it, and it's already down to half HP. And the Dark Elves took this blob fight very well. Have gotten 2 good breath attacks off and a good Soul Stealer and a great Rampage. So excellent start from them. Zombie summons out to try and stop this Black Corsair Hambo from lending any aid. Manfred is currently getting ninja starred by the Canadian Assassin. He might try and land on that guy and get something done, but we'll see if it even ends up mattering. Web of Shadows is out, hits a ton of units. I don't even see the Mortis Engine. I think that Double Dragons knocked it out in the blink of an eye. Yeah, it's already gone. In the distance, some Crypt Horrors have routed off a lot of the skirmish elements of the Dark Elves, but they just had such a good game plan for how to deal with a blob fight that they really wrecked it. At this point, army loss is already creeping in for the Vampire Counts at only 4 minutes into the game. That Canadian Assassin don't miss. He has been fucking up Manfred. I know he got a beautiful Web of Shadows too, but look at that, 1,400 value on a Canadian Assassin. Damn. But aside from that, it's looking ogre, my friends. Manfred's going to heal himself up a little bit. The Sisters of Singing Doom are still hanging in there, still causing rampages among these Crypt Horrors and zombies. Another beautiful breath attack from the Black Dragons hits the Necromancer, and then the Forbidden Rod will do further damage to him, lowering the balance of power yet again. Another breath attack finishes off the Necromancer. His leadership is so negative that he just disintegrates, and there goes the rest of the Count army. And Italy ties up the score 1-1 on the back of Ronin. Both dragons got pretty crazy value. Canadian Assassin also did quite well. That was really all they needed. Everything else did okay, but it just wasn't necessary. Vargas got rampaged and just stuck in the main fight the whole game. And that's about all there is to say on that one. I do have to now update. So I'll take you over to the Photoshop while we update quick, and then I'll stall for time. I tested it last night. It does not take me very long to go back to live. But I gotta do it. Alright, library. Warhammer 3, properties, beta, none. Alright, that's gonna update back to live so we can cast the other 3 replays on the actual patch they occurred. Meanwhile, we will update the score. 1-1! Oi. Oi. I have seen Gamma, I have seen Ronin, I have seen Leopard. I don't know if I've ever cast Mayday or Twilight Harbinger. Don't know a lot of what to expect from these guys. Versus Segos and Sipa. While I do that, somebody sent me a replay I have to save. Is that everyone? I think that's everyone for the UK too. Sorry, talking to myself about tournament organization. I'll deal with that later. You kept the breath attacks for the blobs? Yeah, that was smart. Alright, Warhammer 2 is updated, so I'm going to relaunch that, and we'll get into our third game. I appreciate your patience. The hotfix. I watched, to see if I needed to do the hotfix stuff, I briefly looked at the Bretonnia versus Dark Elf game on triple fast forward, and then the game just ended, and Bretonnia was winning, and I talked to Guillaume, and I was like, did you win or lose that one? And he's like, I lost. So I actually did have to go back on the other patch because otherwise the replays just had the wrong winner. Okay. So we're back. The score is currently 1-1. And who was I supposed to be doing next? May Dave versus Segos. Beastmen Vampire Coast appears to be the matchup. Appears to be, because it's literally on my screen in front of me. Coast Beastmen is a divisive matchup. Some people think it's unwinnable for the Beastmen. Other people think it's even. I don't think anybody goes as far to say it's Beastmen favored, but I am of the camp that I think it's about even. I think the Beastmen have some tools here. Both sides have a lot they can do, and that can lead to some build roulette a little bit, and then you can load into the game and feel like you instantly lost. You'd be like, wow, bad matchup. But, like, I don't know. It can kind of happen for both sides. Like, if they go Crab Blob, and you have a mass of archers, throwing axes, and traderkin, you just win. So then it's like bad matchup in one way. But if they go like mass bats, handguns, bombers, and then you went kite with like the 4 archers, the 4 centaurs, throwing axes, and traderkin, they're just gonna outshoot you and you lose. So yeah, it's a tricky matchup. All right. Small map, plus the Beastmen are vanguarded, so I paused it to get through the builds. We have 5 Ungor herds for the Beastmen front line, 5 Ungor raiders for those nice archers versus crabs, versus bats, versus the coast in general. Ungor raiders are the heroes of this matchup, and I will die on that hill. You also have 1 spearman herd, triple minotaur. It looks like they're all shielded, so they're the anti-infantry version. Interesting. If there are crabs, it means you're missing some melee attack you would get from the bonus versus large, but I guess the shields are just more worth it in their eyes. Morgar with his double spawn summon, Abrasium and Wild with Traderkins, and Devolve. Huh. Alright. And then how many harpies? 2 harpies in the sky, and a sneaky, sneaky centaur way off in the trees. For the Vampire Coast of Segos, we have 4 deck droppers, all their pistol variants, so non-armor-piercing missiles. Then we have a front line of regular deckhands mobs. We have some animated hulks, the Lamprey's Revenge Crabs, Regiment of Renown, and then a bunch of pistol mobs mixed in with handgun mobs throughout. And Count Noctilus on his peg leg. Don't see that a ton. He does have his summon and his heal, plus Wraith Storm. The dreaded Beastman Kite. I'm saying Beastman Kite versus a Crab Blob is a pretty hard counter and you'll win the game, but it's risky because if the enemy brings a bunch of handguns, you lose. But man, I don't know if you remember or if you were present because you're on vacation a lot of times, but there was a brief meta where like literally the Vampire Coast would just take 4 crabs, Noctilus on foot, and then some gun bats, and that was it. No handgun mobs, nothing like that. Beastman frontline is engaged. I don't know if they'll even beat zombies in hand-to-hand combat, but that's not really the point. They just kind of have to be there. They have to start pressuring. The Minotaurs will come in. They'll probably charge straight through the front line and kill them off rather quickly. But Noctilus is already getting some of our Ungor friends to rout. He's thrown out 2 summons, one to distract the archers, the other start firing away. And the Harpies are chasing the deck droppers. Deck droppers are insanely fragile units, so they do need to be very careful. But Segos is doing a good job keeping the ones that are under fire moving and the ones that aren't under fire peeling for their friends. Centaurs have rushed in through the trees. They get a downhill charge on this gunnery mob, and they are getting rid of it. And all hell has broken loose already. Lamprey's Revenge moving up to try and push back the Butchers of Kalkengard and Morgar. That's really the only part of the front line that's going well for the coast. The Beastmen have broken through on the top and bottom side. The center is the only thing for the coast that is holding. Their deck droppers are doing great in the backfield, and their handguns are still firing. So that is, I mean, that is their advantage. That's what they're trying to win the game off of, though. These guys do have to hurry up and free themselves from those Harpies so they can focus on the real problem, the Minotaurs and such. The Chaos Spawn Summon is out. I'm just going to see if it's the real one or the automatic one you can't control. It is the real one. And versus the undead, Morgar usually, unfortunately, gets his second summon very quickly because a unit's going to crumble next to him. Once it gets low enough, it'll just automatically turn to a Chaos Spawn. Usually when you don't want it to. Because you don't want too many Chaos Spawn at the same time. There it is. So both his Chaos Spawn are in the front line and both his Chaos Spawn are out already. He definitely would want those for later, but one of them he just can't control. The Lamper's Revenge are getting massacred right now. They ran forward without very much support. They don't have a ton of things helping them out. And 2 archers, the Butchers of Kalkengard, and Traderkins are all hitting them. That just takes out the Lamper's Revenge, and that is a huge loss for the Coast. In the late game, the Lamper's Revenge are always your heroes, regenerating blockers with great stats, but they are dead and gone. Noctilus has secured his backline, though. The Black Spot and other handguns are firing in for free on the Butchers of Kalkengard, and now they are getting a good charge off, but they're going to take a ton of damage on their way in. There goes 1,000 health. There goes 500 more, and Noctilus even chucks out a summon. And the worst part for the Butchers is, yeah, you disrupted 1 handgun mob, but there's 2 more aiming right at you. Traderkin hits Noctilus and his friends, but it doesn't seem to matter too much. The deck droppers are uncontested in the skies for now. Maybe archers could start to deal with them, but the harpies are long gone. These guys are able to just shoot whatever they want. The Beastmen bounce power is even with a Chaos Spawn summon on the field, and I think the other one already faded away. So that is a caveat we have to consider. The Butchers of Kalkengard are routed off. The Wildscaster's doing fine. The Coast has to definitely keep focusing on the Minotaurs. They don't care about the characters. The characters are just going to have to kill in the hyper late game. We all know that. We all acknowledge that. Minos are going to be a big problem. Ooh, and that one's still full HP, which is really fucking brutal. Taking out the Butchers was great. No one will argue that wasn't great, but I am worried at this point in the game for the Coast when you have this many healthy guys left. Black Spot are hybrid halberds, but getting rear charged by Centaurs and frontal charged by Minotaurs. Oh, they're already down to half HP. Their hybrid halberd stats are not going to save them from this fate. What can Noctilus do? What can the deck droppers do? Now this Mino is not feeling good. He's already down to a quarter, maybe even 1/5 HP since we last checked in on him. He was full. Bounce power still equal. And in the backfield, we have some animated hulks and zombies just annoying the shit out of archers and chaff to keep them away, while Nocti and his bros try and take care of the actual carry potential. I really feel like the Coast is running out of gas in this game, but Bounce Power doesn't seem to think so, so we'll see. Maybe I'm overestimating how much one slightly above half HP Minotaur can do. Butchers of Kalkengard are back. They're going to surround Noctilus along with these Centaurs. We'll see how long they can last. The deck droppers are proving themselves rather valuable, and again, there's not a lot of range nearby. These archers are just starting to rejoin the fight, but for a long time, animated hulks and zombies are pushing them away. So the deck droppers have had a free hand in this area. Centaurs terror routing off. Butchers of Kalkengard healing up while they fight Noctilus. The deck dropper pistols left to deal with them. But the deck droppers are also dealing damage to these Minotaurs with shields, which, to be fair, they're getting good damage out. But the Coast is starting to fall behind. The archers are now here to start shooting at the bats, or even just shooting at Noctilus. Noctilus whips out a quick summon to try and bail himself out as he walks over towards them. His half HP second summon will pop out of his... whether he likes it or not, it's going to come out soon. There it is, the mini one. But it looks like it is all ogre. It looks like the beastmen are closing in. That's looking like about it. The game is doomed now that the archers are in range of Noctilus because he's going to die like instantaneously. The deck droppers got out of range of the archers, but that's okay. You just mostly want the archers to kill Noctilus at this point. He has some missile resist, he has some armor, but he's such a tall target that like all of the missiles hit him, which is... volume of fire alone will just kill him off. The Coast almost finished off all the Minotaurs. Of the 3, none of them are looking too hot, but there's still so many archers left. Actually, the animated hulks could sweep a lot of these archers. And then the balance of power is heavily in a full health Morgar, but... yeah, I still think the Coast is doomed, but it wasn't as hopeless as I thought. I just forgot there was a full health animated hulk. They're not a dog unit. They're not going to quickly kill off all these archers, so it still isn't looking great. I really liked these deck dropper pistols. They did nice work versus the Minos. They're very annoying. Now the deck dropper bats are moving out to take care of all these archers. Minos are routing. Butchers of Kalkengard are back for the last time, but if they rout again, they'll shatter it. All the other Minos have shattered. Hold on. Hold on. Don't call it a comeback. The archers are attempting to get shut down by bats. Noctilus is still fighting for his life. How many summons does he have left? He has no summons left whatsoever. That is a big problem for him, but at least maybe he has some Winds of Magic for some more healing. Animated Hulks are routing off another Archer. There's more healing for Noctilus. Deck Dropper Bats are trying to chase everything off. Noctilus is still firing. Don't call it a comeback! Come on, Hulks! Kill those Archers! Morgar is going to be a bit of a problem. I'm not pretending that he won't be, but Noctilus is healing up. Balance Power is creeping back towards the center, and the Hulks have routed off one Archer. Do we see two? What is rallying in the distance? More Archers are rallying on the high ground, though we could get some deck droppers up there to take them out. Another Traderkin hits Noctilus, and I think Noctilus has to wander over here and start melee attacking these Archers. He can't be farting around with the hero squad like this because he's just taking free damage. His melee stats are too bad. A second Archer is going to rout off for the Animated Hulk, but I think Noctilus is just being too brazen with his health. He needs to walk away. Run, Noctilus! Run! I still don't know how they kill Morgar, but, like, the correct decision is definitely for Morgar, Noctilus not to fight Morgar. Bats will get rid of these Ungor Raiders. Other Ungor Raiders are routing. Noctilus joining this fight could tear rout off this other Ungor Raider because their leadership's just so fucking bad. These other guys have rallied, but, I mean, you have a lot of deck dropper bats that can keep characters honest. I will point out, I think Morgar can kill everything that's left. I literally don't know what kills him at all. But I do think the Coast can sweep up everything besides Morgar. Segos is putting in fucking work. Deck droppers starting to die off. Archers had routed. Some are even shattering. And Noctilus has a good amount of ammo. He has 7 volleys left, which he can fire while moving. So while he's running around, he is able to just like aim off to the side and do stuff. He's right now the angle of his fire. I am super worried he's going to friendly fire a lot of his animated Hulks, but we'll see where that one goes. This Archer leadership is currently holding steady. Noctilus is aiming off into the distance. He's just trying to cycle route these Beastmen for now and get them all to shatter off. Animated Hulk's taking a lot of damage. If he has any Winds of Magic, it has to go into Invocations of Nehek for his Hulks. But, I mean, he used all 7 of his summons, and he's been healing a bunch this whole game. So it's not like, oh, he hasn't spent any Winds of Magic. He just has all of it. I have no idea how much he has, but he's certainly used a ton. Noctilus himself wading back into the fight to rout off some of these Beastmen bastards. This Ungor Raider is firing at him. Deck droppers are really struggling to finish off that Ungor Raider in the distance, but at least it's not firing at them. Noctilus wanders forward, ominously tromping over these Ungor Raiders, firing his cannon into their faces, but Morgar gets a rear attack on him. Balance power shifting against them, and as close as Sego's drug it, I don't think there's any way Noctilus can kill Morgar, and that is GG. Though some tenacious play in the late game got me believing a little bit. You got me believing a little bit. Italy up 2-1. Can the EU Mercenaries pull it back? Minos did pretty good. Trader Kikaster and Morgar did fine. Centaurs did... The one Centaur that was brought did amazing. Archers did pretty well. Frontline did okay. For Segos, Noctilus, wow, not a lot of value. Even for being on his peg leg. Black Spot did well. Other handguns struggled. Animated Hulks did fine. The Lamp's Revenge getting massacred was a big problem. The Pistol Bats tried to carry it back. 3 of them got more than their value. GG. GG. Okay, that was the one we cast. So let's hop over to the Photoshop real fast. And update that. So May Dave getting an impressive win for someone I've literally never cast in my entire life. And now we move on to Twilight Harbinger versus Sipa. Another Vampire Coast game on the other foot. Another Bretonia game also on the other foot. And not what... Sipa! Sipa! What is this? What is this build? Sipa! My office! Now! What the fuck are you taking? Okay. Okay. Okay, that's fine. What is this? What is this? Why is this a thing? You take this back. No, I'm not casting this shit. I'm not casting this replay. Take it back. Play it again. Listen, hubby. Hey! I won't listen. I refuse to listen. My ears are shut. Anyway, we have a prophetess of life with regrowth and assault of stone. We have a Knights of the Realm, a Grail Knight, a Royal Hippogriff Knight, triple field trebuchet, all with gold chevrons, 4 peasant bowmen, and then a Grail relief buffed up front line of peasant mobs and peasant spearmen. On the other side, for Twilight Harbinger, we have Count Noctilus on foot with his summon and his heal. Animated, yes. Zombie pirate deckhands mobs, some with pole arms, some without. We have 2 mortars to deal with enemy archers, a bunch of crabs, 2 normal crab mobs, 1 Lamprey's Revenge, the ROR. We have the Shade Wraith Gunners and a couple animated hulks. You want to see the Trebs outtrade the mortars? Oh, they probably will. Triple gold chevron, they'll do decent damage. The Shade Wraith Gunners have to get in range pretty fast. Trebs. I'm not talking about the Trebs! I'm talking about this bitch! Everyone's tunneling in on the gold chevron Trebs. They're like, that's what Human Boy's talking about. A prophetess with life is super normal. A prophetess of life is a thing we've seen all the time. Why is everybody talking about the fucking Trebs? I don't give a shit about the fucking Trebs. Alright, Noctilus is trying to heal up the Shade Wraith Gunners. They're taking so much damage, though. I don't know if the heal's even going to save them at all. Shade Wraith Gunners will get the Peasant Bowmen to rout pretty much instantaneously, especially when they're under attack by mortars, too. But, oh, that volley from the archers plus the volley from the Trebs, it does so much damage despite the physical resistance of 55%. It's just not enough to save the Shade Wraith Gunners. This is National Vampirates Day and nobody told me. This is the second and final game of Vampirates because then both teams have played it. Alright, I was checking my messages to make sure neither of them were about this game. There goes the Shade Wraith Gunners. Here comes the Assault of Stone. Does it get dodged? It does not look like the Vampire Coast is aware it's coming in. There's the Assault of Stone. Ah, such stone! Such assault! Good damage onto the mortars, good damage onto the polearms mob, and that was worth taking a whole lord for that. Since when was the Prophetess meta? I was being sarcastic! Okay. I'm not mad. You're mad. Hummus is running a charity event. What did I do? I despise everything. Okay, focus up, human boy. Focus up. Don't listen to them. They're all trolls. Mortar's taking a lot of damage from this triple Treb. They're doing good work. They're doing good work. The Prophetess is just there. She exists. So far, she hasn't had to regrowth anything. Her Assault of Stone did decent damage, but it looks like the Assault of Stone did as much damage as, like, 2 Treb volleys from these triple gold chevron bastards. 1 mortar is already gone, and the Coast does have to read the writing on the wall and realize that they're losing the ranged fight. They need to go get into melee, but for now, they're just sitting here. Unfortunately, they're going to start feeding in infantry one at a time so that the archers and the Grail Knights can pick them off, but once they lost the Shade Wraith Gunners, they had to realize that the 2 mortars were just completely fucked, abandon their current plan of boxing up, and spread out and, like, disrupt the range of the enemy. Noctilus trying to help out his front line. Balance of Power is very heavily Bretonnia favored at this point, and I do not disagree. The Shade Wraith Gunners are dead. All 2. Ooh, all 2. Anyway, both mortars are dead. And the infantry is taking a good shellacking. Knights of the Realm and Hippogriff Knights prowling, looking for some fresh meat. Not the best matchup to find fresh meat. Everything here is definitely rotten and a couple days old, but it is what it is. You take those. VP is pushing through the front line with ease, even with that Grail Relief trying to hold up. Peasant mobs just can't quite do it. And Spearman Arms are also having a bad time, but I feel like they're about to get rear charged by some very aggressive Bretonnians. And the archers are still firing, the trebs are still firing, and of course there are also some summons that are out here. What up, Black Knight? How you doing, buddy? Finally, someone sane joins the stream and saves me from silliness. It looks like we'll be going to a Game 5 that matters for the score. Now, the Game 5 will be played either way because I really didn't want overcasted regrowth on the Royal Hippogriff Knights. I didn't want anyone to sign up to play in the Nations event and then they get to their game and they just don't get to play because they were last. That seems lame. So all 5 games will get played in every series no matter what, but it is looking like that last game will decide it all. The coasts are just making too slow of progress through the Bretonnian front line. The trebs are still firing, and the cavalry, what Bretonnia is usually known for, is doing just fine. Bet it has vampires in it? It can't. More like Sea Cravens, like the video. It's free. It's true, it do be free. Peasant Bowmen still firing in on these zombie pirates mobs. The coasts are just slowly getting whittled away. These Grail Knights will go blitzing through these almost dead zombies. Whee! Bounce power's gonna be back towards the middle a little bit on the coast. Oh shit. Yeah?
Hey, I just have a quick question for you.
Okay, what's up?
Do we have any, like, surge protectors at home, do you know, that we're not using? That I could bring to work?
Maybe in the basement, not super confident.
Okay, so it might just be good for me to buy one, then.
Yeah, also stream says hi.
Oh, hi.
I told you I was streaming, Bubba. What are you doing?
Sorry.
Bubba, what are you doing? Bubba! Alright, well, at least you don't have to say hi. I'm going to put you up to the thing.
Oh, okay. Hi, everyone.
There. Alright, I gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Fucking Grace, dude. Okay, alright, here we go. Coast still pushing up. Trying to get some damage out. There goes the summon. I was wondering why he's taking so much damage. But I mean, ugh. Archers are still alive. All 3 trebs are still firing, though. They are running low on ammo. Is that a concern? Am I concerned about that? I feel like the Hippogriff Knights and the Grail Knights could just carry this whole game with healing from the Regrowth Caster, but I guess I don't know. Noctilus, Polearms, and Crabs is a dangerous late-game combination. Okay, actually, yeah, this is getting a little spooky. It's getting a little spooky. Brett, you okay? Paid actress? Hell yeah, dude. Hippogriff's getting another overcasted regrowth to bring them back to full. They try to get a free charge onto some polearms, but then Rotting Promethean's gunnery mobs go to harass them. And I'm feeling the fear. We started pushing this triple treb into VP build. I don't know. Let's see how we're doing. Animated Hulk's pretty low. Both of the Promethean mobs that don't have regen are decently healthy. The Lamper's Revenge can heal themselves, and they're the ones that are most damaged right now. The Knights of the Realm, the 3rd Knight unit, is taking a lot of damage over time. The Grail Knights are at half HP. The Royal Hippogriff Knights are full HP, but heal capped. I am getting concerned. And the Prophetess is like a non-factor. She's great for healing. But like the Fey Enchantress has a Mortis engine we all know about, and the Favor of the Fae and stuff. And then Lewin and Alberic are good melee combatants. This lady is just a heal bot, so she doesn't factor in her combat potential at all. It is entirely on the Grail Knights and Hippogriff Knights to carry this. For the Trebs, 1 volley, and 1 volley remain. Peasant Archers, a lot of ammo, but not a lot of HP. If Noctilus can somehow get a summon out here, he has 2 left. Maybe he can route them off for the final time. I don't know how many routes they've had, but those Archers have got to be shut down. Lamper's Revenge, 5 models, still trying to regen up, though their heal cap is within sight, and a nasty charge onto this Rotting Prometheans that was healthy just a second ago. Invocation of Nahek is thrown down on Lamper's Revenge. I don't hate that. He might try to get models back, because Invocation of Nahek can bring models back while Regeneration can't. You think Brett still got this? I think they're advantaged, but it ended up being closer than I thought. The way that game started, it looked really, really over, but then the Crabs did pretty decent work. Grail Knights got another overcasted regrowth. Their heal cap is nowhere within sight. So while the Hippogriff Knights might eventually get worn down, it looks like the Grail Knights have plenty of love left to give. Noctilus is running out of polearms chaff. We did eventually get rid of the Grail Relic, down to 100 HP. Routing for now. Might come back. And all the Treb crews are offline. I mean, they're running into combat now with 13 and 8 for melee stats. No one cares. Grail Knights and Hippogriff Knights just cycle charging away. Still getting good damage down, but these archers aren't going anywhere. Big rout from all the peasant spears. And the Prophetess of Life has taken a good amount of damage from sitting over these shotgun crabs. Just going to have to be careful about that. Another heal for the Grail Knights. It is another regrowth for them. And I think that just seals the deal, as we'll see cycle charging for 55 years in the end of the Vampire Coast. We do have 89 people here, not to beat a dead horse, but if you like horses alive, you should subscribe to the channel for Subsember. I released a video this morning talking about it, but every subscriber we get in the month of December, I will donate $1 to charity. I think it's the Morris charity, but since I'm on stream, I'm a little nervous, so I sometimes forget things. They do various animal research to help out animals, including kidney research for doggos. I am fast forwarding because this is doomed. The balance of power thinks Noctilus can kill a full health Hippogriff Knight and a full health Grail Knight, and I severely disagree, as he now dies. We're going to Game 5 regardless, but this Game 5 will decide it all between Italy and the EU Mercenaries. Promethean's mobs did great. Everything else got shut down super hard. Fisipa, his regrowth caster did fantastically, saving the hippos and whatnot, but the Trebs got crazy, crazy value. Archers did okay. That's a GG. Holy shit. It's a high elf mirror to finish it off between Italy and the EU Mercenaries. I will go to the Photoshop just to update things. Twilight Harbinger fought honorably and to the end, but Sipa was too tough. Sipa's now my rival. He's my rival. I love him, but he keeps beating me and it makes me mad. Last game. Who moves on to fight the winner of Spain versus France? That series has been completed. I will probably stream it Monday. And we'll see who wins there. But High Elf Mirror match. Everything's on the line. Pride, honor, all of it. Dwarfs require no skill, also known as the Phoenix King. He's one of my mods. He's a good dude. And he recently had a birthday, so happy birthday to the Phoenix King. Frequent Faction War top 4. I don't think he got to finals last time. I think it was Razel and Alfredino, but Phoenix King got to top 4. And the Faction War before that, he won on the Dark Elves versus Leopard. I have talked to Leopard from time to time. I don't pretend to know Leopard, but I have seen him. The last 2 games, I literally have never cast a game of those 2 players, but I've seen Leopard once or twice. He's pretty good. He's pretty good. All right. Let's fucking do it. For the Phoenix King, we have a cavalry-heavy build of 4 Illyrian Reavers and 2 Dragon Princes, triple Sword Master of Hoeth, Imrek up on his dragon, and a Life Mage with Regrowth and Earthblood. On the other side, Alariel the Radiant for Leopard, 1 Bolt Thrower, 2 Dragon Princes, a bunch of Spearmen and Archers, triple War Lion of Krace, and then some Spearmen and White Lions. 2 very different styles of trying to do this. Cavalry, Elite Infantry, and Imrek versus War Lions and Archers. Imrek, as with most dragon games, dragons are very powerful. Malekith, Imrek, Sorceress of Dark and whatnot, but they are very expensive. You do have to carry the game on them, so we're going to have Imric find some really good breath attacks. He needs to probably find a way to snipe out Larry, and his Dragon Horns are going to have to be super impactful, because the rest of your army is just much smaller. You're paying for a dragon, right? So that dragon's got to make a big impact, which can be tough. Dragon Prince is currently getting slapped by these archers in the bolt thrower, taking a lot of damage. They'll even need a regrowth pretty soon. It looks like the Phoenix King's trying to take a free charge under the White Lions of Krace. They do not have charge defense like the Spearmen, so he is going to get charged there. Not a lot of impact damage, though, and has to back out. Other Lane Reaver is going to charge in to block the enemy Dragon Princes, and a beautiful 3-unit breath attack down the line, but doesn't do as much damage as I would have thought. The War Lions take almost none, and an Earthblood from Larry is going to try and just mitigate any of that damage. And Imric's diving in. He is in front of archers. He is in front of the bolt throwers, but it looks like he's just not concerned. And the Red Hives are taking so much damage from all of this persistent fire. They're getting wrecked right now. And Earthblood Overcast tries to save these Illyrian Reavers, but it's just not enough. Dragonhorn is out to give them extra stats as they try to punch through the front line. Dragon Princes get a free charge on the War Lions of Krace, and the archers are pushed back for now. They're not under attack just yet, but they are moving back where they can't be fighting. But the Swordmasters are finally here. The Swordmasters of Hoeth should slaughter through the entire front line of the Green High Elves. We'll just see if it even matters as Dragon Prince is routing off from these archers. They're having a pretty bad time. And the armor sundering from the Puremain Company helping those archers out quite a lot. Swordmasters are here, fighting some spearmen. They might want to force path onto the back line and shut down some of these archers or something. Dragon Prince is fighting something back here. It looks like War Lions, but they get rear charged by the enemy's Dragon Princes, so that will be a rout for those central cavalry forces. And the cavalry of the red team is looking in dire straits. It is taking so much fucking damage. Imric's very healthy. The Swordmasters are very healthy. But red is definitely taking big losses in this early game. Puremain Company getting charged by Imric. Kind of surprised they don't have ITP, because all White Lions spend their time alone in the mountains hunting War Lions and Manticores, but interesting that they're not ITP. Imric charges straight through. And the Puremain Company and Spearmen are holding for now. Swordmasters of Hoeth have killed an entire Spearman over there. They've killed half of a Spearman down here, but it's just not fast enough. They're not getting through anything fast enough. Bounce power is tipping against the red team, and I definitely agree. I think Imric has to maybe suicide dive onto L'Ariel Radiant and just hope he can kill her, because dragons are one of the few things that can hit foot characters relatively reliably, kind of, sort of. Green High Elf frontline is starting to fade, and soon these Swordmasters hopefully can push onto the backline and start disrupting some of these archers, get rid of that fearsome fire. And can the Swordmasters carry? It's looking like a distinct possibility. For the green side, though, one of their Dragon Princes is at a 3rd HP, and the other one is so close to dead it might as well be. The balance of power is still right dead center in the middle. Swordmasters fighting against all these War Lions, all these Spearmen. The archers are ignoring them for now. They're firing at the other Swordmasters that are back near Imric. Maybe Imric's caster can chuck some Earthbloods in the area and try and mitigate some of that damage that is coming in. But she is left alone. Her Illyrian Reavers have shattered off, and there are a bunch of Spearmen nearby, so she doesn't need to back off. She can't stop those archers for very much longer. Imric is trying to put this whole game on his back, but Larry keeps healing up anybody. I see you're taking damage. Here's some healing. Seems fine. War Lions routing off. Another Earthblood in from the red team does hit Imric. It does hit both Swordmasters. It hits all 3 Swordmasters both. That was actually a pretty huge Earthblood. Bolt Thrower happily shooting away at Imric. All of the archers still firing. Leopard has done a great job keeping his archers online. Almost all of them have like full HP. This one's currently under attack by Swordmasters, so it does need to back up. But overall, he's been doing a great job. Here comes the big play. This might be the decider of the whole best of 5. Can Imric kill Larry? Without their leadership, without their healing, the green team will certainly fall apart. You see a lot of blinking health bars already, and a lot of the green team's power is in their ranged units that are still alive and still have ammo. So if your front line shatters away without any healing, then that will help a lot. Earthblood plus a Star of Avalorn trying to heal up the Dragon Princes. Imric does force them off with a breath attack that they mostly dodged, but if they had stayed in the heart, they would have taken more damage. Imric's back down on the Spearman. He was not able to snipe out Larry, and he is now pushing straight through the Spearman. Bounce power is still green favored, but not by much this early on, this late on, 5 minutes into the game. Imric is taking shots from a lot of archers as he tries to snipe out Larry. The Swordmasters of Hoth are still grinding away next to him. One in the distance is going to get sandwiched by mobility units and pushed off. The other one's still trying to get to these archers, but Leopard has kept them so safe. They're just free-firing all game long. Imric is sallying? He's walking. He's walking here. He's walking towards Larry, does get up into the sky above the Dragon Princes, then awkwardly lands in them and does take the charge. He could probably rout off all 4 of those units, to be honest, but I don't know if it matters. It's the archers that matter. It's the archers that have carried this whole game, just firing and firing and firing. A regrowth for Imric, one last-ditch effort to keep the Red High Elves in this game, but there goes a Swordmaster. There goes another one. It is soon to be Imric alone. And he isn't that much of a boss. Sally forth! Lighting on the banner bug right here. Oh yeah, there's a lot of lighting on the banner. A lot of stuff's routing away from Imric. That regrowth brought him quite back in the balance of power. The archers still have 6 volleys, 5 volleys, 4 volleys, and the bolt thrower has plenty of ammo. The balance of power is tipping against them because they're using their ammo, but they still have plenty of ammo to kill Imric. He gets a huge shot onto Larry, and that was what I was talking about. If he can kill, like, if he could, throughout the game, have gotten, like, 3 or 4 shots onto Larry at one point, he could have sniped her out. Leopard was just too cagey, running around. And it was definitely a really good effort here from the Phoenix King. I've been talking mostly about Leopard because Leopard had a lot of the agency. It was, you know, his archers trying to stay safe and stuff. The Phoenix King, like, it was... The Swordmasters are coming for you, and if you fuck up with your archers, he's going to win this game. So, yeah. Imric had an admirable attempt. The Swordmasters did what they could, but the High Elf, spear and bow, will take the day. And that'll be Italy with a 3-2 win over the EU Mercenaries, coming down to the very last game. And that is the order in which they were played. That is the order in which they were assigned, so I wasn't just rigging it to make it an epic conclusion. But look at that fucking archer value. 1,600, 1,700, 1,200. Imric also did very well. Dragon Princes did okay. Lyran Reavers didn't get much done. And Phoenix King Swordmasters did actually really well. They kind of put the world on their back. For the Phoenix King, it was mostly his Illyrian Reavers letting him down. The rest of the build did fine, and it was a very close game, so it's not even, like, gonna look for several obvious contestants. The Warlions of Christ did quite well, since they had Swordmasters to go eat. Bolt Thrower also was just super annoying. All game shooting away at him. So, Italy will be victorious. Let's hop over to the Photoshop and make it official. Very back and forth day. For the EU Mercs fall. And Italia will move on. Now for the bracket. The bracket. I will now report the score. Spain and France is done. I believe East NA and UK is done. I got a replay during the stream, and I saved it, but I have to make sure that I have 5 different replays from them. But I believe that one's done. West NA versus South America, I believe 4 out of their 5 games are done. We will do a lot of streams like this one. They're nice and short. It's only 5 replays long, probably about an hour long each stream. Probably do that Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And we'll tell you then. But Italy has moved forward. The winner of Spain and France is already determined. And they have been told, and Italy has been told, and they are working on scheduling their games and getting their games started, so don't you worry about that. But for now, it is a big secret, because otherwise, what's the point of a stream if I just tell you who wins? So our first official winner is Italia! And I will say, my pre-tournament expectations, my 3 favorites would probably be Spain, France, and the EU Mercenaries. So Italy already pulling off one upset. They will have to pull off another upset, in my opinion, to get to the finals. Top half of the bracket, I don't know. The East NA team is kind of scary. The UK team is kind of scary. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but I think the winner of Spain versus France is my tournament favorite. Because, like, if you just look at... Let's pull it up quick here. No spoilers. I'm just showing you the matchup that is yet to be played. So look at these fucking teams for Spain versus France. Tudela, green one, JMG, Azrael, Urian. And then on the other side, Alfredino, Razel, Hanadins, Zyphos, and Pantalinade. Like, France is my tournament favorite. Spain's probably second or third, depending on... Coming into the tournament, for me it was second or third with the EU Mercenaries, but those guys already got knocked out. But, like, Alfredino, Razel, Hanadin, Zyphos is really fucking scary. Pantalinade's a Chad, and he's a solid player, but I meant, like, those top four are, like, previous Faction War winners on Turin's channel, Faction War winners on my channel, Warhammer World Cup finalists for Alfredino, like... You know, that's a scary fucking team. But the Spanish team's also not fucking around. JMG is kind of insane. He doesn't get on this channel a lot, but when I see him play, he's pretty pog. Tudela's been improving a lot. Green one's always really good. Azrael's pretty darn good. And I've seen Orion play like once, but I don't remember it. So he's an unknown for me. I don't know if he's like amazing or not, but yeah. Shit's nuts. So that'll be Monday. And since we're looking at the teams, if you're like, well, what about the other teams, dude? Don't be a fuck. Here is the East NA versus United Kingdom. Blood Penguin, Golden Floof, Rocket, Rainy Frog, and AC Maiden versus Stead, Lenorm, Longshanks, Sir Groot, and Koala Duck. Those games might be completed. Like I said, I got the last one during the stream, so I have to make sure I actually have everyone or if someone submitted something twice. And then... the POG group. West NA versus South America. Why is it pretending it's already open? There it is. West NA versus South America. Strat Game, Coops, Cool Umbrella, Gojira, and John FB versus Turin. Not that Turin. MTK Turin. Anti-Kaiju, Ruben, Federico Chavez, and Boña Roja. And I believe 3 or 4 of those games are done, so the series isn't quite done yet. But yeah. So hopefully you'll stick around. We do hope to finish this Nations Cup in the month of December. It'll be all done and dusted before 2024. That is all I have for you today. Get the fuck out of here.